Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to another Adobe Live here in the UK. This is me in my little yellow submarine saying hello to all of you. And if you're joining us on YouTube, that's just fine. But don't forget, you can't get involved in the chat if you're going there. So head across to behance.net/Adobe Live. And that's where you can get involved in the community and ask questions of myself and my fab guest, who today is Andrew Nye. Hi, Andrew. How are you doing?
Hi, Tony. Yeah, I'm really good. Yeah, enjoy just getting used to lockdown now. You know,
it takes a while, right?
Well, in my life, to be honest, it's not much different for me, if I'm being honest. But, you know, you miss the weekends.
That's the thing. We've got a weekend flag here, so we know it's actually the weekend. Not a joke. It's a paper thing, but it just says it's the weekend. Nice. On it, because it just. Yeah, it's hard, right? Because one day runs into another, especially if you work at home. It's crazy. So let me just say hello to some of our fab people. Do you know, Andrew, we have some people who join us every single day and have done right since the beginning.
Oh, amazing.
Back in March. Just crazy. And that's grown as we've gone along. So we've got Kirsty here, we've got Stuart, we've got Caroline, we've got Sean, I saw there, we've got Sandrine, of course. Hi, Sandrine. We've got, let's have a quick look through. We've got so many people in here already. We've got Bob. Bob Demas joins us from Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Right? Every Friday, he sets a 3:45 a.m. alarm so he can watch this go out live. How amazing is that?
What?
It's crazy, yeah. We have Steve as well. Steve's not here yet, but Steve, or I can't see Steve just yet, but he joins us from New Zealand. And he comes along for the German streams as well, which is a little bit earlier. It does, doesn't it?
I would love to go to Arizona as well. That's on my list.
It's very deserty.
Oh, yeah.
It's heapy deserty, but it is really lovely, and it's got some stunning stuff to look at there as well. Incredible. But yeah, I've never been to Tucson, but anyway, that one day. So yeah, plenty of our people here. So Andrew, for our community, and let us know who you are and what you do.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, my name is Andrew Nye, and I'm sort of a designer illustrator. Basically, I spent 9 years in branding, and I worked on sort of more of the craft side of brands, and I've always had a love for illustration, and I just basically was working towards making the move, and in the last 3 years I made the move to illustration. So it still feels kind of new to me, but I, you know, there's a lot of sort of wobbles along the way, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm relaxing more. The more I do it, and the more I relax, the more I go along, you know. But yeah, it's a learning curve, quite steep learning curve.
Absolutely, but you know, it's the thing is persistence, right? Keep going.
Yeah.
Like the fish thing, the Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. That's the thing to do, I think, to carry on. So I think you're gonna show us some of your work to start off with, right? We're gonna have a look at a few things. We're gonna see some of your stunning work,
yeah.
And then we're gonna get into it. You're gonna get into a little bit of a demo with us, and we'll see where that takes us and how far we go with that. Is that about right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, just to sort of break it up a bit more, do a bit of a demo later on.
Yeah, awesome.
So I guess I'll start with my website, which I keep saying to myself, I'll redo this website, and I never get around to it. But it does a job for me right now. But basically, So what I do is very, well, it's all vector. So everything I do is entirely vector. And I have a strong interest in conceptual illustration. One of the first things that I loved when I was a student and I was at uni was Shop magazine. And so when they came to me as a client, I was like, wow, it's like, this is absolute, like, this is like a dream for me. But like I just always gravitated towards illustrations with like a conceptual element, and I just can't, for me it's like to be able to do that now, it's like, this is what I've always wanted to do, so I'm super happy with that. I use a lot of gradients, which I used to get a lot of stick for in the beginning, but not so much now.
Yeah, when everybody was doing flat. When everything was flat.
Yeah, I think when I was at like uni, like years ago. I mean, I was at 9 years in branding, so I'm a bit of an old boy now. But it was like you would never go near gradients at the time, and it was like the thing you don't do in design at all. And I loved it. I just stuck with it really. But it sort of goes in and out. But I always think with what I've always focused on is trying to focus on the idea, because I always feel that, like, the styles tend to come and go, but like the ideas are always kind of, you look back and you see like conceptual logo designs and stuff like that, and you just think that's kind of timeless, isn't it? So I've always kind of, not saying that my work is timeless, but I'm just saying that I think
that'll stand quite a test, I think.
I just focus on the idea stuff. I find it just being more engaging as well, I think.
I've got to tell you, the first comment that came in is, "Whoa, look at those!" So
nice.
People are loving that. Saying good illustrations, nice, great work, great stuff. Love the textures and shadows. Gives them lots of depth. Really, really good. So fantastic. But they are beautiful, really beautiful. I love the slightly isometric quality of some of them as well. I love that. Yeah,
I mean, that's another thing that's kind of like comes and goes as well. But I quite liked just adding a bit of dimension to it. And, I do a lot of editorial work. So for me to fire up like a 3D program or something like that, and to like mess around with rendering, I was like, I can't possibly do that with the time frames sometimes. But
draw it.
But I have tried like 3D as well, but I always go back to vector, because it's like isometric is not kind of like, it's not perfect 3D, if you know what I mean. It's like it's kind of like forced. It's not exact, and it's like you can play with so I do a lot of ideas with different angles, and like, so if you're looking at something at a certain angle, something else reveals itself at the straight on angle, and that's a bit more harder, I think, with 3D, because you're dealing with like more of a real life sort of thing. It's difficult to explain.
No, I get it. I'm sure everybody does. You've already inspired Kirsty. Kirsty said, Andrew,
brilliant.
You've inspired me, so that's fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Kirsty.
No, and I've got Sandrine also absolutely loves the fountain pen, as do I. I love the quality of that sort of burn highlight in there. It's really it's very evocative of the 1920s and 30s travel poster.
Nice.
I really love that, and that really looks really, really good. Really good.
Thank you. Yeah. I try and bring my work under a certain palette, but then there's always a brief that takes me away from that color palette. I try and keep it all pastel-y, with a sort of pastel base, but then there's always a brief that will come along and pull me away from that, and I'm like, this has to be done in a different way. So my color palettes, as the best I try to like contain it always ends up not very organized color wise. so each piece becomes more of an individual. But yeah, no, I do have a few sort of like, I'd say like crutches with my style. So like things that I sort of lean on, which is like gradients and like just like the isometric feel and clear space as well. I like a lot of, like, because I'm from a design background as well, so I'm always sort of looking at images and thinking, where would the type go, you know?
Yep, no, great way to work, especially for editorial. What I really love is there's all, and this is a good thing for like the human condition, right? What you've got there is a brilliant hook, because if we see stuff and it doesn't automatically make sense, we spend a lot, and I don't mean that there's no logic in your illustration, because there's, but what I mean is, to our brain,
I like that.
Look at it and think, well, that's a set of headphones, but it's not a set of headphones, it's a landscape, but it's also a journey. It makes us look at it more, and that's what I really loved reviewing your work before doing this. Just fantastic.
No, really, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. So I think we're looking down. You can see the website still, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess like so one of the things that I did want to talk about was how like I made that sort of transition from branding to illustration, and how I sort of begun, and I don't know, that might be of help to some people.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've actually got Stephen's a new here in the chat at the moment, asking questions about learning more of this stuff. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Basically, like when I was working in design, basically what I did was in the evenings and the weekends I did sort of personal series, and I'd flip over to Behance and see. I don't. Can you still see?
Yeah, we're all good.
Screen?
Yeah, it's the common thing with Zoom, isn't it? That's the number one first thing people ask. Can you see me? Can you see my screen? But no, we're all good.
Cool, nice one. So this was when I was, I don't know, post uni. Basically, I started in a branding agency, and I was just I like series of illustrations as well, and I just wanted to kind of do like a series, and I just created one, and I was just like, well, pick two things. I didn't know what to do, so just like pick two things that you like, and play with the concept, because I was just playing with conceptual imagery and trying to get my head into it, and like what are the kind of technique, or like how do you put your head around combining two different things. I just find it fascinating. Right, and I've just basically just a big explore. I didn't have any real time frame on it. I just created like a series of musical birds that
amazing,
basically, and just tried to combine just your random instruments with birds, basically, and playing with that theme as well. So like maybe it's like an egg cup. It's not quite as literal, but
did you animate that in After Effects? Did you take an Illustrator file into After Effects?
No, this is years ago. This is like Photoshop step by step.
Oh right, okay.
frame by frame.
It's lovely though.
But I was really happy with how that came. At the time, I was like, I didn't realise I could like make it that, because it kind of, it was a bit of a mistake, because it kind of, the way it sort of came out, I was like, oh wow, that's actually quite nice.
That's a happy accident.
I was expecting it to be a bit choppy, like,
yeah.
But it doesn't look too bad, I think, on this. It's a bit. I would like to do more of that, actually. That kind of cinematic kind of little effects on like a more of like a, what do they call it? Like when you just like have a little effect on a straight image,
like a cinematograph type thing.
Yeah.
Your texturing's really on point as well. Oh, it's a flugelhorn swan. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I just basically, this series is just me having fun, really, and I think from this one was where I got Shop Magazine, who kind of, they came and found me from that, and I was like that's amazing, because like I always wanted to work with Shop. So basically, I basically would spend like the weekends working on a dot mag.
Yeah.
And thankfully it wasn't like all the time or whatever, but it was a little bit, and it basically kept me going, and it was just in the background sitting there, and I always had a sort of a love for it and always wanted to take it further. So I wasn't sure how far I could take it really, but I always stuck with doing like things like personal series as well. So another one was City Treats, which was, since I was working with shop, I was doing a lot of buildings and putting buildings with fashion items, and so I basically I had landmarks in my head all the time because I was doing these. So and I remember I was just on holiday in Thailand, and like I wasn't thinking about work at the time, but then I just had this idea of this one here.
Such a good visual pun. I love it.
And I was like, do you know what? Like I really like this, and I think I should. I mean, first of all, I should do it, but then I think I could do like a series. So I basically just started building more of these. So there's like the Colosseum, which is sort of formed by the shadow of the cheese.
So clever.
And then
how long do these take? How long do they take on average?
Wow.
I know that's a hard question.
I knew that question was coming, and it's for me with these ones, I had no time frame for these, so I would just spend a weekend on each one, just kind of. But I'd have the idea, So once I get the idea,
Chrysler building, wow.
Yeah, and that's what I said about looking at things at different angles and seeing a straight-on view of something. I really like those ones. But like some of them are a bit more easy, but playful. I just keep this like personal series going because they get me more work, So from that one, I had the Evening Standard. So basically, I haven't got the magazine up, but
London Bagel.
So basically, there's like the river. Thames is like put into like London Bagel. Yeah, so it's like basically it's US food eaten in London. So I used like a just a bagel, which was like sliced in half, and then I managed to sort of work in landmarks of the Thames, basically. Yeah. And I was in London at the time, so and everyone knows. I always like to pick like really obvious landmarks as well. That's the difficulty with some of the later city streets is I'm running out of really iconic landmarks that everyone knows.
They're so clever.
Statue of Liberty, obviously. And but then I had to think, well, if I'm doing something for Cuba Libre in Havana, and I'm doing Havana rum, like rum and coke. And then I'm thinking like, well, there's not many sort of buildings that are super iconic that everyone around the world's going to know. And then there are, to people locally, then there definitely will be, but like to people around the world, they're going to be like, well, that's not what do I associate with Cuba Libre? So I was just thinking, well, you could put, you could use their cars. So I've used a shadow basically and trying to work like some of their iconic cars in, and I've made a sort of scene, like a beach scene. So it's like the sea, the palm tree, and just a little sun on top there. And then again, like another one that's like caramel chocolate in Vevey. I mean, I worked the sort of caramel in to kind of form the scene, but sometimes you have to kind of stretch the idea a little bit. But I just enjoy, these are just for fun as well, but again, it's like they will form, they will get
wow, look at that. So, Christ the Redeemer in a cheers. Yeah. It's fantastic.
So again, like these, I don't know why I'm doing this series. You know, I don't really have a plan for it, but I just enjoy it, and it does. Yeah, people do seem to come back, and I guess it's like with anything. You know, the more you put out, the more comes back to you.
Yeah.
So I'm just quite happy. Just when I get the time, I will do it. So
are these available as merch anywhere? Do you do like these as postcards or anything like that, or prints?
No, I haven't thought about any of that. I really don't.
I
really
would. I
maybe,
definitely would.
I maybe like let's get like a set. I'm really happy with and do it.
They're so clever. I mean, the thought that you've put into those is just amazing. I mean the Cuba Libre one, that is fantastic. And you know, to be perfectly honest, I didn't see the sea line to start off with. I saw the front of a car and like a sort of a Jeep style canopy.
Yeah.
And then as you pointed at it, fine. But that's the beauty of it. It's lovely.
I don't want to help anyone as well. Like I just sort of like, I don't want to spoon feed anyone. You know, just if you get it, you get it. Like that's fine.
If there's anybody watching from an airline for your in-flight magazines, these are what you need, because this will keep, you know, they're just an incredible series. I'm going to see if I can hook you up.
I appreciate that. I do love like travel briefs. I mean, that's why. So I was going to talk a little bit about E. Leclerc, which is the this one here, Voyage musical, and is that on the screen?
I love that.
So, like for me, this was a perfect brief because it's like combining two things that I love: music and travel. And like I love to illustrate around those ideas as well. And it was also there was a long, like they gave me this brief like a month before it was due. So I was like, wow. I mean, I didn't spend all that time, but like to have it sitting around your head and to know what's coming up is so nice. It's without it sort of needing to be rushed,
Just incredible.
So basically, this one, this is, so for anyone who doesn't know, E. Leclerc is like a sort of French chain, like a sort of Tesco in the UK, and they do all sorts of things, electronics as well. And they have a magazine, and it was like a brochure. So it's a brochure cover that was going to be used in their stores. I'm not sure with all the stuff that's going on now whether it was actually printed, but it was definitely out there online. Basically, for this one, like the only direction was it must include headphones or vinyl, and must represent a musical trip. And that was the only brief. So I was like, "It's brilliant. This is what I love." So I was going to show you the options as well, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
So I've got sketches. I can talk through the sketches.
That would be amazing.
Just to go into this one a bit deeper.
Yeah.
I can show you.
No, go ahead.
Ignore that. So it's that one there, yeah. So this is like what I sort of send to clients, and so this option. Originally, so how I do sketches as well, I'm very robotic. Everything I do is I will sketch like scribbles on paper at the beginning, but like everything I do, I will often go to the Mac. Well, for sketches, I do. I go to the Mac, and but I keep it all grayscale, and I just simplify just as long as the idea is there, and it's sort of, you got the layout, and I'm happy with that, I think. So basically, so I had this idea of entwining the headphones with like a travel scene, and I love sort of the scale. Playing with scale is one of my favourite things at the moment. Is like an object that's very small with a scene that's really big, and I think that really like is I think people like sort of gravitate to that a bit more because it's a bit more. The contrast of that is a lot more exciting, I think. So I did the same on this travel dice. If I go back to my sites, so basically on this is another personal one as well. So this one here. So basically, I just had this little idea, and I was like, I have to draw it up, and you know, this I didn't spend too long on this one actually, but like the idea was there, so I was like, I can just do this, and I know what I'm doing. But again, it's like having the scale of something that's really small, like a dice, and everyone knows, and then it's like a scene that's like really big. I think that contrast is like, I really love those sort of images at the moment. And again, I've done it with these as well as a property company. I don't know if that's on the screen. Yeah, I like working like just playing with objects that people know, and working out how I can sort of fit other things in things. Okay, I'll go back to the.
Just brilliant. Your textures, your textures, are they pretty much? And sorry if this is coming up in your little demo segment, but are you sort of a one bit? The textures that you use, that you have in there, are you sort of a 1-bit TIFF, 8-bit TIFF person? Do you use 8-bit TIFFs in your textures, or how do you get them in there?
I don't have any textures, but you mean like bitmap stuff?
Yeah,
it's all vector. And I keep it completely raw. Even on some of the, I mean, I used to do things like, I use blends sometimes. So like you can create like a wood grain thing. Like in the Songbirds, there was a wood grain texture. It's all vector. Like everything in the Songbirds is completely vector. So I used to blend the wood grain. So I go from like just one color to fully transparent, and then I'll just kind of get the smooth thing. I kind of avoid wood grain texture for that reason, actually, because that's a bit of a bit of a mission.
That's amazing.
But I had all the time in the world as well when I was doing those birds, so I didn't really worry too much. But I keep it all vector. On the so looking back at this Easy Clerk, I had this idea, and I was quite happy with this idea. And I did think the hands, though, this was an option that was presented with the hands, like picking up the headphones. And I kind of thought that it might look a little bit like someone's assassinated with like the water come down like sort of like blood or something. So I was like, maybe put that option in as well, like one that's like without the hand. I knew that like if I built that, I could make it work using colors, but I was thinking the client might think it looks a bit kind of But I'll try them both, and they went with this one, so I was really happy with that. And then I did do another option as well, and it's super rough stuff, but like and this is what I was going to do a demo on. So this was option 2, and I didn't go with it. I was like, well, I don't want to see it disappear. So like, I mean, recently I kind of worked it up into a separate songbird, basically.
That's fantastic.
And then the third one was again, it's like just a face sort of in the scene. And he had like headphones through the boat, but again it's like super rough. But so my sketches are quite rough. But
I love that you work from grey as well. I do that in Photoshop. I have a template that's set up with neutral grey, so I can draw in black and then highlight in white on the top. I think it's a good starting, but white is a really bad color to begin from, or color, or surface to begin from.
I do like. I mean, all my stuff uses like a color background, so I know I know that it's gonna go that direction anyway. So yeah, I like to have the highlights. I'm pushing off the pastels.
Do you think that's part of your key to your success with colour, in that you start off with a value-based idea, so you work with values to begin with, and then introduce the colours that match those values? Or is that intentional? Or
no, not at all. Like I say, like color is something I'm trying to work more on. I'm trying to sort of refine what is my system. And I do have an idea. I like pastels. I love pastels, and I love sort of working in that area. But and I like gold as well. I mean, that's come from Shop Magazine, really. So I started with Shop Magazine and everything with jewelry, and I kind of got used to the pastel with the gold. So now when I work on like other projects, then I often feel there's something missing without the gold. but I do actually. Well, what's funny is like I work a lot with Which Money magazine.
Yeah.
So gold works perfect. You know, that's brilliant there. So yeah, it's kind of gold to become adopted as a part of my
your key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to say,
just while you're looking just there, I've got to give a quick shout out to Gareth, a long-standing member of our community here. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Gareth. Hope you're having a fab day and enjoying this complete visual treat here from Andrew. It's just fantastic.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so I'd say like what I was thinking of, did I talk about, I did talk about the city streets for the personal projects, didn't I?
Yeah. And
the working process of this one here. Yeah, I was going, you talked a bit about timings as well. Yeah. So like I say, this one was given to me really early, so I was really grateful for that. But yeah, so I like to have when I'm working in editorial, you don't get those sort of deadlines. You know, you can get like a week though, which is nice. And if I get a week, then I'm really happy. Absolute limit for me though is 3 days, because of the conceptual element. I like to have at least 1 or 2 days on conceptual element, and 1 or 2 days to work it up. And so I kind of say absolute minimum 3 days. Otherwise, like it's not worth it for me. Like I won't get something I'm happy with.
Yeah.
And I like to be in control of the concept as well. So, I mean, if there's a brief that comes in that's like, you know, we just want you to do this and draw this, and then I'm happy to do that. That's great. And you know, but I can shave some time off then. But yeah, it's
stunning.
Right, thank you. Yeah, so I was just going to do. I don't know if it's good to do a demo.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm sure everybody would love that.
So yeah, the one I was going to demo. So this was option 2 on E. Leclerc. So I was going to basically just redraw this. But I don't know what I might go through. Like there might be some little techniques or something that if you're a student or something you might find interesting. I don't know.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, go ahead. Let's see. So when I'm like usually starting, if I have a sketch, I'll use it as a guide, but I'm not like I will start the thing again. You know, it's like I won't use that artwork. Yeah,
I will start from scratch and try and I'll try and build it fresh. You know.
Yes.
But like I will use sort of things for like the record or whatever. I might start with a bit of reference imagery. or it going wrong.
No, worry not. It's all good. This is fab. I'm just going to have a quick look through the chat there while you're doing that as well. Gareth is enjoying your work. Nice to see everybody's being lovely to Gareth on his birthday, which is fantastic. Sandrine is asking if you'd make a quick composite in Photoshop before you do it.
How do you mean? Sorry.
Do you sort of so from your sketch, do you comp that together in Photoshop before you work in Illustrator, or?
No, my sketches are in Illustrator as well.
Yeah.
So what I do is I'll make really super rough sketches, like on bits of paper, and I'll get an idea, and I'll fill up sketchbooks with like the same idea, but just a little tweak on it, and then I'll just keep going over and over until I kind of get like the ideas right and something that I think's stable and kind of feels right. And then once I'm, if I'm happy with the idea, it takes the work out of drawing it up, because my work's kind of is like quite sort of, what's the word? Just quite like an icon. It's not sort of super. There's not too many layers involved. It's quite
right. Okay, so it's straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite straightforward.
Yeah. It's not segmented, not into.
Yeah. So like I use a ton of blends, which I really enjoy.
Blends are so good though, that's the thing. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys, do you guys do lots of demos at all on here?
Personally, I do, personally, or I used to. I'll be back demoing next week, actually. So,
Okay.
But yeah, we get some people who do demos. Some people are a bit nervous about doing demos. They're just like, oh no, I'd rather just talk about my work. So, which is fine. It's whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, when I saw in your plan that you wanted to do a demo, I was very excited by that, especially because it's in Illustrator, which is amazing. So.
I'm a little bit, I'm expecting a little bit.
You're all good. Do you use any grids to help you with the layout? Do you use a perspective grid at all, or?
Depends on the brief. So, like, I will vary my process on depending on the brief. But like, I for the most part for the isometric stuff, I use sort of scale, shear, rotate method.
Okay. Have you ever seen Herman van Bergen's plugin extension for that? Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh,
no.
This is going to change your life. Right. What you want to search for, because it's free, and Herman's a lovely guy, really clever. Herman has taken scripted that, and he's not alone. Lots of people are doing it, but Herman's is hands down the best one, and I'm not just saying that because I know him. It's called Nimbling, NIMBLING 30 SSR, and it's amazing. With one click, everything's done.
Oh, really?
So that'll. I mean,
wow.
The majority
so you lay it all out flat, do you? And then it's sort of.
You can just click it and drop it into. So you've got ISO left, ISO right, ISO top, ISO bottom, and you can just click it. And the great thing is, because it's run in that way, it's undoable in one click, unlike doing SSR as an action, unless of course you built an action that does that. But yeah, super cool, really cool.
That does sound really cool.
Oh yeah, and it's free, so it's available on Adobe Exchange, I think, but any Googling will get you there, or other search engineering. There we are. And by the way, people are loving the fact that you're doing demos. We love demos, says Bob. Caroline loves to see how people work because everyone is different, which is true.
Yeah.
Now, Sandrine's asking, and I can answer this for you while you're working if you like. Does Illustrator have an isometric grid system that works with magnetism? I know what you mean by aspect locking or whatever. No, it doesn't. But if you go to user voice for Illustrator, you could ask for that, because a lot of people do, and it should have an isometric grid. I think it would be really handy, because lots of people use, even if they're not producing true isometric illustration, like Andrew, they're using it as a foundational piece of part of their work. So go ahead and do that, Sandrine. Get everybody doing it. So in fact, Tim is amazing. Tim has just popped us a link. Thanks, Tim, into the chat with that actual feature request in there. So you can just +1 that as many times as you work. Smart guides, you can set your smart guides, Gareth, as well, to work with 30 degrees. That is something you can do in the preferences. So yeah. This is so cool watching this.
You need like a time lapse thing, don't you? Just
well, no, it's nice.
Let's
and it's
jump forward, like
it's relaxing, and you know, it's just good to watch you work.
Yeah.
I mean, I can quite happily just carry on rambling while you're working, if you like. It's and you can just jump in when you need to tell people apart of what you're doing.
I appreciate that. Yeah. The thing is, like, I mean, I kind of thought, like, oh gosh, like it's an hour long, and I don't know what I can talk about. I'm not the best at sort of, I don't know, rambling away, you know.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. Yeah, actually, Gareth has customized his in preferences to 30 and 60 degrees. Really useful. Gareth, you might find, if you've ever looked at the stuff from Astute Graphics, they have a plug. The part of their plugin set is something called Direct Prefs, and that gives you a window where you can actually do that rather than going into the preferences and doing it. It gives you a window where you can click between various scenarios, like 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 30 to 60. Really useful. Do check that out if you get a chance on astutegraphics.com. So have a look at that. Someone mentioned cake. Fantastic. I should imagine you'll be getting some cake later, Gareth. And Stuart's asking, have you seen the DKNG time lapse on some work? It's nuts and so complex. Have you seen that, Andrew? No? I'll be checking that out later. If you've got a link for it, Stuart, go ahead and paste it. That would be really handy. Tim will just do a quick check and then he'll pass that through. So amazing. I love that you've got a built-in relationship between the tail feathers of the bird there and the top, as it would have, given it.
Yeah. So I just really enjoy sort of trying to like discover those sort of ways that you can connect things in different ways. Like I say, this was quite a beautiful brief for me, because I'm very music and travel is like brilliant, perfect.
Just brilliant. Shaping up nicely. Don't forget, everybody, as well, by the way, that beyond the chat, I mean, I know a lot of you know this already, but beyond the chat, we've got our own Discord here on Adobe Live, so you can get involved and carry on chatting day and night, should you choose to do so, and it's really good at the end. Gareth is saying, why have I not heard of Astute before? I don't know, but they're incredible. Their entire tool set, 100 quid for the year plus VAT. Barmy. It's just mad. And if you decide you don't want to carry on paying for it after the year, you just stop at that point and the tools are yours, but they just don't get updated. Amazing. So the SSR method, by the way, that Andrew is talking about is scale, shear, and rotate rather, that you do it. It's a calculation to get you through to isometrics. And interestingly, Illustrator does have some fairly rudimentary isometric options available in the 3D tool set. You don't have to extrude it to do that. You can just do 3D, in effect, 3D rotate, and then just choose isometric top, and it will rotate your artwork around, or of course left and right as well. This is really good. I can't believe you build all of your textures in vector. That you don't evolve any.
To be honest, I'm trying to think what textures you mean.
So you've got like those rich textures. So I'm thinking back to that egg cup there just for a minute.
Okay,
so you've got that lovely texture on the front
the
there.
lines.
Yeah.
I think I use, because I use a lot of the overlay transparency effect. And you can sort of push and pull back from different colors, and like if you just have I'll probably use it in this actually as well, but like the shiny lines that I put everywhere is overlay texture.
Yeah. I mean, you can go a really long way with those things, even by introducing like noise and whatever from the Photoshop effects in Illustrator, and like you say, using clever blending, you can do that.
Yeah. I did try, like, actually when I was at uni, I actually got into like stencil graffiti stuff. So I was like, it was just layers and layers of textures, like trying to get this like really nice effect and stuff like that. And I remember I had one of my first jobs. I was the company I worked for, they liked the fact that I did all these experimentations with illustration, and they wanted me to use like a sort of a grungy stencil effect on one of these jobs. And the files that I was creating were like, it was like 4 GB each because of all these textures, and it was unworkable. It was just so, like, everything was like slow and sort of jumpy, like as I was working, like.
Yeah.
And I was, I can't work like this. So I was like, I can't be bothered to use textures. So I kind of just decided I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it all in vector.
Wow.
And the file sizes are a lot smaller.
See, I like the 1-bit. I capture lots of 1-bit TIFF. We capture lots of things and downsample them down to 1-bit TIFFs, because you can colorize them in Illustrator. So you can just click on them, colorize them, and mask off what you don't need.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is useful. Yeah, because it's like no space at all, isn't it? As well.
Yeah.
Like, and do you have it as like a symbol? Do you do that? Is it?
I do use a lot of symbols in my work, but that's but no, I just bring it in as a separate appearance attribute and mask it off, or even as a separate entity on top and mask it off using. Well, to be perfectly honest, what I use is the opacity brush and the texture brush from Astute Graphics, because I can just brush in the texture where I want it. Now, it is a bitmap texture on top of it, but it's 1 bit, so it's tiny. You know.
Right.
And they have a. Okay. I mean, this is going to turn into an advert for them, so I'm going to shut up. But that's what I use personally. But you can do it. You can do it using gradients and masks to do it. It just takes a little bit longer, just only a little bit. But it's just if you're just trying to bang the thing out really quickly, or get the job done. But this is really lovely to see. Dun-dun-dun. We had a side conversation, Sandrine and I, just a moment ago, where Sandrine was talking about having a go at designing playing cards, and I mentioned playing arts. Have you ever seen those cards, Andrew? They're different series of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You should be doing one of those. You really should.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like those. Yes, I think I've definitely seen them around. Definitely on Behance somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was quite a while ago they started, didn't they?
It is. Yeah. It's 6. I think it's 6 years now. I've got all of the series over on a shelf over there. I've also got 2 proof sheet. Well, I've got 1 proof sheet of the cards now, because I sent one to a friend in Germany a little while ago. But no, they're incredible. You should be on there. I'm gonna try and get you into that, because you make an amazing. You get to do one card, right? They give you which card you're doing, and you have to interpret it. Really
yeah.
nice.
Oh yeah. No, that's it. Yeah. No, I have heard that. That sounds brilliant. Yeah, it's a great brief.
Because we had Gordon Reed on here a little way back, Middle Boop, and he's done. I think he's done 2, and Radim Malinik, I think, has done. We've had a few people on here that have done them, but no, you should definitely be in that club.
I appreciate that.
Really.
Yeah. Work your magic.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I will. Caroline's asking if I could show how to do that in another stream. Yeah, probably. We've got a Tony Harmer show next week. Maybe I could do some of that in there, weave that in. Adobe Live brought to you in association with Bourbon Biscuits. Thanks, Gareth. Oh, caustic creams. I love this. This is the best job ever. Look at that. Amazing.
Yeah, so I kind of sometimes I tweak the values slightly. I mean, because I will start with a sketch. That's like, so I'll try and match the sketch as best I can. But when I'm sort of skewing the shapes and that, the values might tweak from the usual.
So Atom Creative Graphics is asking what color palette, guys, do you use, Pantone or whatever? I think you mean a color book there, Atom. What do you use? Any particular color books to choose your color? Do you use Pantone or?
No, I don't actually. No, I will. I have like a set. Like, because a lot of stuff is like digital now anyway, so it's like don't need to worry too much about that. But yeah, if it goes, I check basically the sort of colour that I like. I will be like I say, pick pastels. I know my kind of range I'm happy with, and if there's something kind of on the previous like piece that I've done, then I kind of work sort of trying to build my colour palette. You know, I'm trying to sort of work out what is my colour palette. It's still kind of up in the air a little bit, but I do have from previous pieces. I kind of like piece it together what I want to use.
Oh, thank you. Gareth's put a lovely comment in the thing there. Thank you. I'm glad you've missed me. That's really nice. I've missed all of you too, and I'm glad that you're trying to get Maddie to giggle. It's my favourite game, getting Maddie to giggle. And I'm glad that you're all playing it in my absence, which is fantastic. People are amazed at the speed with which you're working, Andrew.
Oh, really?
Really loving that, yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest, so it's kind
Well, you're doing really well, so you've no reason to be at all.
Obviously, like, yeah, when I'm doing something new as well, like I kind of, it's a lot of trial and error, so it's like once you've done a piece, it's easy to be like, well, just knock it up. But but like when you're building it, that, you know, there's like trial and error and kind of finding all the right shapes and layout.
Let's have a quick look. Which shape are you talking about, Stuart? Stuart's asking if you can repeat the shape again. Let us know what you're talking about there, Stuart. Sorry, I couldn't quite. Halves the shape, and then in 2 clicks, it's a complete shape. I think you meant from the square, right? When it's round to a diamond, and doing that. Were you cutting that? Was that a bit of scissors tool going on in there?
I use Pathfinder all the time.
Pathfinder.
Yeah, it's like I always think it's like kind of like collage with shapes.
Yeah.
Just sort of building my layouts and shapes. You know, like I will use. So I like most of my stuff. I can just use the mouse. I mean, I do have a Wacom tablet, but it doesn't get much use.
Oh. Brilliant. You are putting this together very, very quickly. We have just about 5 or 6 minutes left. So if you've got any questions for Andrew, that are coming in at the 11th hour, or almost literally, then go ahead and let us know. But this is great. We'll have to have you back, Andrew, for a bit of a. We'll work out maybe a full-scale demo session.
Yeah,
if you'd be up for doing that.
Well, it's really. I wasn't sure, what to expect, and I hope maybe there's someone out there that's got something out of it.
There's lots of people who've got lots from it, and if Tim can whisper, if Tim has a chance to whisper in my ear, how many people do we have on from the full statistics, Tim? Oh, right, okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. The one day I want you to give me the numbers, it's not working. It's because these things. So we get different numbers. I was talking over you then, Tim. Sorry, but yeah. YouTube says one person, which of course is not correct.
Come on,
no. It's because we've got several systems that are working. They're not talking together. No. It's normally in the big numbers, so don't worry. And of course, people watch on demand after as well. So it's great to see this coming together.
So so this stays up, does it, afterwards?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it stays up for on demand, and lots of people do watch again, because they're chatting. I think the great thing is that so many people here have become friends since Rufus Deutscher started this back in March. It was Rufus's baby, and some people on here have become really good friends going across this, which has been lovely. And they watch again later on. They chat while they're here and take it in a bit, and then watch it again in more detail later, which is lovely. Have you ever tried drawing the Decca building? Have you seen that one? It's the one that looks like a massive stack of records.
Oh, no.
There's a city for you. That if I could remember what city it's in. God, it's not in LA, is it? It's
if you got any ideas for some new
Sandrine
definitely.
Actually asked earlier, have you done Tokyo? Have you done anything from Tokyo?
No, actually, there's so much out there as well. Like that I should consider. I mean, I kind of like what I said earlier about finding the landmarks that everyone will know. The problem is everyone knows different stuff, don't they, as well? Yeah. So it's kind of like I'm just drawing from my own experience as well, and I've not really been to Tokyo, but absolutely, that's a great idea. I'll look into that.
Well, thanks, Caroline. It is Chicago, by the way. The Decca building's in Chicago. It was in the back of my mind. I just couldn't remember. Never been to Chicago. It was meant to go this year, actually. So many places I was meant to be this year that didn't go. So not to worry. Like everybody else, really.
Yeah. So what was it? You actually supposed to be in Chicago, were you?
Chicago was one of the places I was going to be this year. Yeah. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Solid.
But everybody's, everybody's plans and so many conferences. Yeah, and people are saying that they rewatch and slow it down as they go. So that's such a good little subtle light you've got. Now, do you ever use combined appearances? Do you ever add new fills on top and blend those down?
No, not really. No? You give me a lot of stuff to check out, though.
Well, don't forget you've got a bat phone style link through to me now. So if you need any tips, just give me a shout.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, I'm learning a lot, actually.
That's good. Well, as am I, actually, from watching you. So it's good.
But everything. I mean, everything I kind of done was when I was a student. One of the things that really annoyed me actually about university was they didn't really teach you the programs.
Yeah.
And because they had this idea at the time that it was only going to cater for certain people that were going to be using programs in the industry. So we want to keep your mind open to all methods and all mediums. But then it's but we kind of knew that these are going to be, these programs are going to be used everywhere.
Yeah.
So when I was like at uni, like the only real tuition that I got was from I used to buy like computer arts, and they had like tutorials in their magazines basically.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like looked through those really. They were just perfect.
Amazing.
All these little things. Sorry, yeah.
I was just going to say, Bob, thanks for coming to my. It's the Capitol Records building in LA. That's the one. And I'm surprised because I'm in LA more than I am anywhere else. So there's, mind you, normally downtown, to be fair, or driving out of there to Santa Barbara. Now, this is fantastic. We are, however, at the top of the hour just now. So,
sorry, guys.
Don't be sorry. No, it's all good. It's all good. We have a couple of minutes if you need it. Is there anything you wanted to wrap up in? Because we've got a few minutes if you want it.
Well, maybe I just show one little thing in the symbols palette.
Yeah.
Just because this might be useful to some people out there. So if I've got like a building that's sort of tubular, and I want to like wrap a texture around it, I use a 3D tool. So I use like symbols.
Oh, so map art. Yeah.
I mean, that's probably like most people, but some people might not know that. But like, just create a texture, drag it into symbols. It has to be flat, and then we use effects. Map art.
Yeah. Choose your surface. Yeah.
Just chop that in. Some fun and games. Alright, thumbs up.
That's all right. Do you know what I do with that? I actually screenshot those different surfaces and then drop them into another Illustrator document. I actually build my stuff on top of those areas because yeah.
Oh, right.
Do you see what I mean? Because the front-facing part, the part that's light on there, especially if you're building. So I built some things with some robots in at one point, and I wanted specific parts of them to be visible. So I screenshotted those things, jumped out of it, went into another Illustrator document, built the texture out. Look at that, fantastic! You see, love it, really love it. Yeah, and then work from that. Brilliant.
I'll take those tips. Yeah, that's basically. I mean, that's what I wanted to show anyway.
No, that's great. Really great.
I crop it around, and then I add some shine to it and that. But that's Sorry, I didn't complete it.
No, that's all right. I mean, we said at the beginning we'd see how far it went, and it's been great watching it. It's been absolutely amazing having you here and chatting along with you. So thanks ever so much for joining us. I hope you'll come back at some point.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. It's like, as I say, like a really good opportunity for me. Like, I really appreciate this.
No, I'd love it.
Yeah, it's been lots of fun.
No, everybody would love it. It's just great.
Thanks to people watching as well. That one guy.
Yeah, no, they're all there. Honestly, trust me, it's way more than that. Tim actually thinks they roll a dice at YouTube. And then they get the product of that, and that's what they put in the thing. So, like, get a handful of dice. Do that, go like, oh no, it's all ones. We'll put one in then, fine. Anyway,
I like that.
There you are. Everybody's saying thank you so much for this lovely Illustrator work. Really enjoyed watching you work. So it's been great for you to join us, Andrew. Thanks again.
Thank you. No, I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
Brilliant. So our schedule for the week coming up is now on the screen for you to check that out. Don't forget, join us every day. We're here every weekday between 12 and 1 for some more fab stuff. The conversation, as always, continues on our Discord, and the link for that is in the chat. Have a great weekend, whatever you're doing. Happy Friday for the rest of it. Stay safe. Stay happy and stay creative. Cheers, everybody. Bye now. Bye.
Bye.